All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Montreal. And we've got Gauff back again, number one seed. Barely got through a first round match against Danielle Collins. But now she's taking on Kudermetova, who it's been okay. I mean, she hasn't been... Her ranking suggests she's not been good, but she is better than what she's ranked. She should be a seed at this tournament. She is a very dangerous player and could very much get the win here, especially if Gauff serves the same way as she did in the first match. I don't know if she can get away with it twice, serving like that, but that's probably the most interesting part of this match for me is seeing how Gauff is serving-wise today compared to the first match. See if like maybe against Collins it was a bad day and today she's going to be much better, or whether or not it's going to be a constant problem over this US Open series, and if it's going to be consistently an issue, these double faults. By the way, Andreeva's already down a set and a break. Dasher lost, but that was a tough one. Kostruk's tough. And Musetti lost. So that was an upset to Mickelson. Mickelson coming back from, I think, I don't know if he had match points to save, but he definitely was down. So we'll see what's up. But let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Pretty light day today as well. There's not too much going on today. So we're going to watch Zverev later because he's playing Rinaldi, and I think Zverev and Rinaldi matchup is pretty interesting. But then tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow we've got some good matches. So tomorrow is the day. I'm happy that Kostruk won. She had not won for a while. Yeah, she didn't play very good on grass at all. But we know how dangerous she is as well. Musetti saved 6 match points. Lost the 7th. Oh, man. That's rough. That's a rough one. All right. Coco didn't play for 28 days since last play the other day. Really? Was it that long? Well, let's see if she looks better today. Cerundolo's also in trouble. Okay. New Zealand Tennis News funding okayed to begin put roof on ASB Stadium. That's cool. I didn't know that was even a thing. I didn't even know that was supposed... I mean, I don't think... Did anyone complain? That's bad. Say, look. I guess they want to be a 500 event, so they're sort of upgrading the facility. That's cool. I mean, look, it's probably not just for tennis, though, right? They want to be able to use that venue for other things. Putting a roof on it. Is it going to be like a permanent roof or a retractable roof? Is it going to be like Brisbane or Sydney, where they have like a shade roof which stays on all year round, or is it going to be something like a retractable thing? Because I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know that there was complaints about Auckland being needing to be weatherproof. Let me check. That's cool though. I don't know. Again, it's like it's weird. It's one of those things where nobody asked, but who cares? Like, hey, great, good for them. It looks like it's going to be a permanent lid. Tennis upgrade underway. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. What the hell is this website that I clicked on? That's crazy. $15 million covered stadium. Okay. I mean, there has been bad weather in Auckland over the time. That's cool. Okay, so it sort of looks like Brisbane, and yeah, it's got that kind of like open, like there's still gaps that can let in the air and stuff, but it's just sort of a lid with ventilation. That's cool though. It does rain a bit at that tournament, so. And it looks like, I mean, I've been past the stadium. I accidentally went past there when I was scooting around Auckland last year. It's right on the corner, and it's sort of just like is right there. So you could probably use that for other things too. Now, if you know, you could probably use it for like small concerts or something. That's cool. Oh, here it says a roof on center court would allow concerts to be held there throughout the year. So there you go. That's a great idea. Love to see it. See, it's not that hard. It's $15 million to chuck a lid on the stadium. What's everyone else's excuse? Auckland would love that. I guess maybe the biggest thing, the thing with all these things that we want but they don't happen, is that like Montreal was supposed to have a roof, but then I think they said they stopped it. The government's they changed government and they said, nah, we're not going to do that anymore. I guess in Auckland they're like they see the value of a multi-purpose venue. Whereas in Canada, I guess this venue they don't want to make it. You know, they're like, no, we can't see the value in making it multi-purpose. Also in Canada, it does get a lot colder than Auckland in winter, I guess. So you got snow and stuff. So you gotta build it differently. But I love that. That's a great. I love that. I love that for Auckland. I love that for it just kind of shows like, okay, well, if a 250 event is willing to put out $15 million to put on a roof, then what the hell is everyone else's excuse, you know? Like, there's no excuse if a 250 event's putting that kind of money up to improve, not just for the tennis, but for the venue, to upgrade the venue to be not just the tennis thing, you know? Love that. It's going to set the way, hopefully, and other tournaments will be putting pressure on the other tournaments, you know? Also, Auckland is just a lovely place. New Zealand is just a lovely place. I should go back there. All right. Kudermetova won the toss and is electing to receive. Mirra called medical timeout for a twisted ankle. That sucks. Prediction for number of double faults in this match. Yeah, look, we're not going to do that because I'm going to say less than 5. I'm optimistic. For Coco, I'm not going to be negative about it. You know, I think she's going to serve much better, and she was just maybe rusty and played a very tricky opponent. By the way, these two have played before. Remember, she never played Collins, and she's a friend. Well, they're friendly, so you know there's a whole. We talked about this the other day. There's a lot of factors, not just the serving of Gauff, that would have played a factor into why she double faulted. 2-1 in favor of Gauff in this matchup. Winner of this will take on either Mboko or Buskova. So Mboko Gauff, one of the young players on the tour coming up against one of the best players on the tour. Love to see. I think they've already played once as well, so that'd be really cool to see that. So the 2-1. Last time they played was 2 years ago in China, where Gauff got the win against Kudermetova. Gauff's won their last 2 matches. Kudermetova hasn't won their match since the start of 2023. So they played 3 times in 2023. And it was 2-1 in favor of Gauff. Twice on hard courts, 1 on clay. Anyways, 30 love. As Gauff serves in the backhand of Kudermetova. Return the forehand to Gauff. Backhand Kudermetova. Getting to the slice of Gauff. Gauff in the net, 30-15. New Zealand is a lovely place. Plenty of small earthquakes at the moment. Yeah, I feel like that's just I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of that going on. But then again, like if you go on, like there's a website that like tracks earthquakes around the world. If you look at that every day, you'll see there's a lot every day. There's a lot of earthquakes all the time. We just don't hear about them. As that goes out by Gauff on the approach 30-0. Like there's a lot. I didn't realize there was even an earthquake out in Australia last week. Nobody talked about it though. All right. right, 30-all. Gauff serves a fault, second serve. Serving to the forehand, Kudermetova. Gauff with the forehand into the backhand of Kudermetova. Gauff forehand again to the backhand of Kudermetova. As Gauff goes forehand to forehand with Kudermetova. Kudermetova's hitting clean as she hits a slice of the forehand slice of Gauff. And then Kudermetova forehand inside out in the net. And that was a good rally, 40-30 already. Feels like a higher level, higher quality matchup. Because remember, Collins also played bad against Gauff. You know, they both played poor. You know, you look at her stats too. They weren't amazing, you know. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. Serving the forehand of Kudermetova. Gauff with the forehand to the backhand of Kudermetova. As Gauff backhand again to the backhand of Kudermetova. As Gauff forehand goes into the forehand of Kudermetova. Gauff with a slice on the stretch. Goes out and Kudermetova gets the deuce. All right, deuce. There's a fault from Gauff, second serve. Serving the backhand of Kudermetova. Gauff forehand into the forehand of Kudermetova as Gauff down the line of the backhand of Kudermetova on the stretch. Goes in the net advantage, Gauff. Advantage, Gauff. By the way, Chad, I'm just having a look at Coco's, because you know the double faults are obviously a big talking point. She's actually led the double fault count in the last 2 seasons, Gauff. But I'm just trying to figure out what happened. What has happened since? As she double faults right on time, deuce, first double fault of the day. Gauff in 2022, Sabalenka was. We all know Sabalenka in 22, 21. You know. She unfortunately had that double fault, the double faults, the most double faults, right? And in 2021, she had the most double faults as well. Gauff's always hit a lot of double faults, right? She's never been 100 double faults for the season. She's always had, a lot of double faults. Because of her serve, right? Her serve is so aggressive. You know, she hits big serves. That's how she hits so many aces as well. You know, so it's kind of a weird... The only player that doesn't seem to do double faults that hits massive serves is Raducanu. She's the only one that seems to get away with big serves, but also doesn't give away double faults. Which is why I think she's the best server on the planet, because she has the best serve, but also the least amount of double faults. But, Sabalenka had the problem, obviously, back in the 2000, start of the 2020s, as Gauff holds one love. But Gauff, in 2020, Gauff had 149 double faults, which doesn't seem that many but it was a half a season, right? In 2021, she had 256 double faults. In 2022, she had 260 double faults with 220 aces, so almost 1 for 1. 2023, her best season so far, with more aces than double faults, 260 aces and 219 double faults. But then 2024, she had 250 aces, but 430 double faults. She added 200 double faults. She served the same amount of aces, but her double fault count went through the roof at the start of 24. And then this year, already, she's hit 250 double faults, only 120 aces. Sabalenka, on the other hand, has hit 200 aces this year and only 115 double faults, so she's in the positive. But what happened? What happened in 2020? Like, what happened last year that would cause her to hit that many double faults? Was it maybe the expectation of being a Grand Slam champion at the US Open at the end of 2023, and then in 2024, the expectation of her being better and, dominant and, the big target on her back as a champion? Is that what happened? Maybe that the expectation was higher and it kind of put her more pressure on her and she started double faulting more? Was there an injury that I can't recall? I'm trying to remember. Was there something, did she get injured in 2024 where like there was a shoulder or arm injury that she was dealing with, or a back problem or something that was forcing her to hit errors at double faults? That goes the net from Gauff, and it's 15-0. I think the big one is that did the coaching change? Was there a coaching change? Didn't Pierre Riba, who doesn't get any credit, by the way, doesn't get much credit at all, even to this day where he's coaching, one of the best coaches that doesn't get spoken about enough. Was it because he left? Remember how he went back to Zhang? I think it was like at the end of when did he go? When did he leave? Because he might have been the missing piece. Yeah, so at the end of 2023, Pierre Riba stepped away from the Gauff camp, and obviously Brad Gilbert stuck around. Is he the reason why she double faults now? Like he was the reason she wasn't, but then like that's the only change I can tell. Unless there was something that happened, maybe like somebody came in and changed her serve for the worse. How many double faults does Zhang hit? Because he coaches Zhang, right? 30-all, by the way. Because Zhang doesn't seem to hit that many double faults, and she hits a lot of aces. There's a forehand out of the backhand of Gauff. Kudermetova backhand. Into the backhand of Gauff. Great shot. Kudermetova slices back. There's Gauff with a slice forehand. Into the backhand. Kudermetova overhits it. 30-40. So Zhang this year has hit 151 aces, 117 double faults. And she's been injured. And then last year, Zhang hit 445 aces and only 247 double faults. I might be wrong. Maybe Zhang's the best server on the planet. Better than Raducanu. Zhang might be the best server on the planet. She does not hit that much. She hits way more aces than double faults. I think maybe Pierre Riba might be the missing. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was the. She won a Grand Slam this year, so it's not like her serve is stopping her from winning, but it's stopping her. I guess it's what could she do if she doesn't double fault? Like how good could Gauff be? Maybe she's number one if she doesn't, she sorts the serve, as Sabalenka was. Anyways, 30-40, back in at Kudermetova into the front of Gauff. Passing shot's good, but Kudermetova volleys it away. Gauff gets it, and then the volley is too good by Kudermetova. She's a great doubles player, Kudermetova. I don't know if she was number one in the world or not, but Kudermetova is definitely can volley. See, I don't know, chap. I feel like Pierre Riba definitely got to be a something that has to be. But then again, the thing with Gauff is that she was always double faulting. In 2023, 22, 21, there were still double faults. But in 2024, she went from not double faulting to like double faulting all the time. Like it got worse in 24. It wasn't like Pierre Riba came on and made it better, and then she got worse when he left. When he left, again, there might be just a coincidence, but when he walked away or when he stepped back, her double fault count went through it was higher than ever. So why? And then Brad Gilbert's obviously now stepped away and she's got a new coach, but her double fault hasn't helped. Then he worked with Zhang, and Zhang's got one of the best serves on the planet. Psychological, yeah, but also like we're trying to figure out why, It's easy to just like throw out like, oh yeah, it's in her head. Anyways, good break for Gauff. 2-1, 2-love. it's so easy to just kind of go, oh yeah, it's double faulted because she's she overthinks or her, it's mental. It's like, well, yeah, well that's just so easy. Everyone could just say that, It's just so, like that's such an I want to get a little let's try and get a little more specific, Let's try and work this out rather than just throwing out. Oh yeah, double fault's mental. Yep. If she figures out the mentality, she'll work out the double faults. It's like, okay, what? Okay, cool. We're all experts then. That's an easy, good answer. 15 love. But why? Why is the mentality, the psychology of her serving? What has happened? Because again, like I said, 2023, she was serving. She served a lot of double faults, but not as many as now. She's serving way more in the last 2 years than she was. And I just maybe it is because she won a Grand Slam and the expectation was got high. The pressure got more. Also, like I said, Pierre Riba left. Was he a reason why she was serving well? Was he him leaving? By the way, Chad, did anyone think that Goran should coach Gauff? Did anyone mention that? Has anyone suggested that before? Maybe Goran should, because I feel like Gauff's got that mentality that Goran wants from people that he coaches. As a return goes out and Gauff's got 3 love. I feel like if Goran obviously worked with Steph and said things and obviously worked with Rebecca and it didn't work out, but I feel like Gauff is the type of player that Goran would want to work with. Because she is the one that would want to do anything to get to the, she would do sacrifice it all, to get to number one. And, I feel like Gauff would be the type of player that Goran would click with. Not to mention he could maybe help her serve or help her, well, she can play at the net, but, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of making sense. I feel like it could work. But Gauff's obviously got, not even as like Goran as the get Goran as the only coach, but get Goran on the coaching team, with the other coaches, I feel like it could, because I think from what we learned from the City Pass situation, Goran obviously has an expectation of, must have an expectation of who he serves, who he coaches. Obviously, coming from the Djokovic camp, I feel like it's either going to be Sinner or it's going to be Sinner if Darren Cahill walks away. It'll be Sinner that he maybe he gets on with. Runa's got some of the old Djokovic trainers, so maybe that happened. Maybe that's I don't know. I feel like Gauff could. I don't know. Kind of making a little bit of sense. I feel like she's got the attitude that he would work with. I feel like he would wouldn't have to work as hard working with her. Like it wouldn't be as tough. Because she would be willing to do whatever it takes, I think that could be kind of a cool combo. She did just win the French Open, so I don't think she's making any changes, but anyways, 3 love Gauff. Can guarantee short players person serve. She's not short though. Gauff's like 5'11". She's one of the taller players on the WTA, and has the big I think the biggest serve on the WTA, right? Doesn't she hit like 200 plus serves? And not many players do that. 200K serves. Goran wants a strong work ethic and total commitment, and she has it. Personality is different from Gauff. She's nice and he's hardcore. Yeah, but I don't think she is being nice means that she's going to be, or she's only 5'9". Okay. Well, she's got the hardest serve on the tour. I thought she was taller than that. I thought she was like 5'10". I think she's taller than Swiatek. But I don't think we should confuse Gauff being nice for being, mentally or even just not strong. I don't think we should get that confused. Just because Gauff's nice and friendly and doesn't want to play into the beef of things and get involved doesn't mean she's not intense. And don't get confused. Nice doesn't equal weak. So I think he could. I think if he was, and I don't. But the thing is, he's only going to be hardcore to the people that aren't going to listen. Like I think Goran, I don't think Gauff would dismiss his advice. Not saying that anybody else did, but if he says something, I don't think she's going to be like, whatever, I'm going to do my own thing. Or, I feel like she would be listening, and I think that's half the thing with a coach, right? If the player's not going to listen, then it's really hard to coach. Anyways, Kudermetova trying to get on the board here. Anyways, we're trying to figure it out. $30-15. Gauff is professional. I think she could work well with Goran. Yeah, I mean, chat, we play matchmaking with coaches and players all the time. This is just like, none of this is probably going to happen. And if it does, you can tell we will take all the credit. We do this every time. When we see a coach that doesn't have a player to work with, we all just go, this player should get this coach. Especially with Goran, who's been probably the most talked about coach of the year. Like, we've been talking about coach Goran more than any other coach this year. Maybe Darren Cahill a close second, but that's because he's it might be his final season. 30-0. As Kudermetova serves again. Into the forehand of Gauff. Return goes to the forehand of Kudermetova. Gauff with a slice. Into the forehand of Kudermetova is Gauff forehand on the stretch. Kudermetova gets it back to the forehand of Gauff. Into the forehand of Kudermetova is Gauff. In the net. 40-30. By the way, Andreeva's about to lose, which is strange. Kessler has had a good year, though. I think she she does deserve some credit. With a second serve into the forehand of Gauff. Gauff hits it out in the return. It's 3-1. Kudermetova is down a break. Yeah, Kessler's won 2 titles this year. All right. Back to Coco. 3-1. Moratoglu has coached Gauff before. Yeah, he has. He's also coached Tsitsipas before. But Tsitsipas has gone back with to his dad. His dad's back in the coach's seat now. Which, look, it worked. Look, it's working for Zverev. I don't know if it's worked. But Zverev's done the same, where he was like, tried a couple of coaches and was like, you know what? I work better when I'm working with family, and then so Steph's kind of going down that road, which is fine, We'll see if it... We all think we know what we're talking about, right? We're all like, he needs a proper coach. He needs this, he needs that. Maybe he needs familiarity, and maybe he needs, maybe he needs somebody he trusts, and people that he, someone that he knows, maybe, and we'll see if it makes a difference, If it makes a difference, then it means it works. I mean, Zverev getting back, with his family, got him to Grand Slam finals, got him to world number 2. I mean, yeah, he hasn't won a slam, but he still went, he's doing okay. He's been all right, Zverev. Just hasn't won the big one. But if Tsitsipas goes back into the top 10, it means that, yeah, his dad his dad is the best option for him, you know? 30 all here, Gauff in trouble. And she serves in the tee. The backhand goes short, and Gauff puts it away. I'll tell you what, Gauff's playing a lot better than she did two nights ago. 100%. Lamau bro couldn't even reduce the font size to write Kudermetova. Bro. Do you have like hobbies? Anyways, Gauff it out, deuce. You know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to wake up and I'm going to look at this guy's thumbnail and realize that he abbreviated it because the name is really long, and I'm going to come into the chat and I'm going to say something about it. That is a sign of boredom, and you need to get a hobby. All right, ace from Gauff, advantage. Andreeva lost. Somebody said she was coming back. Who said that? Who said that? All right. Advantage Gauff to go to 4-1. Kessler wins. Yep. Kessler's had a good year. Maybe the American season or the North American season will be her announcement to everyone that, hey, I'm a decent player. Good win. Huge win. All right, 4-1 Gauff. She keeps the break. All right. Casper's still looking rusty. Well, what's going on with him? Ooh, down 4-1. I wonder how similar the top 10 end of this year will be compared to last year. I mean, I can tell you right now what the top 10 looked like this time last year. So this time last year, it was Swiatek 1, Gauff 2, Sabalenka 3, Raducanu 4, Paolini 5, Pegula 6, Zhang 7, Zachary was at 8, Collins at 9, and Krejcikova at 10. So what's the big difference? Not too much. I think 5 players different, maybe. So 4 players different. So Swiatek is not number 1 anymore. Sabalenka is. Gauff's still number 2, so that stays steady. Raducanu dropped out of the top 10. Paolini's still top 10. Pegula and Zhang are still there. Zachary dropped down, so did Collins and Krejcikova. And what is it? Keys, Andreeva are in the top 10. Andreeva this time last year was 23 in the world. So she's been the biggest jump. Keys went from 14. She's in the top 10. And Anisimova as well. Anisimova was like 300 in the world this time last year. So, Anisimova's had the biggest jump. So Anisimova this time last year was like, I don't think she was top 100. She was not on the list. So yeah, Anisimova's obviously come from the clouds. But Osa, she was sort of floating around that 20 to 30, 10 to 20 anyway. I mean, it doesn't look too different. It's still pretty familiar. I mean, 6 players, 6 out of the 10 players are still from last year. All right. Nice serving, Kudermetova, 40 love. What about on the men's side? All right, so the men's side. On the men's side, this time last year, it was Sinner, Djokovic, Alcaraz, Zverev, Medvedev. So the top four are relatively similar. And then you had Demonor, Hurkacz, Rublev, Ruud, and Dimitrov. So that's not too different. Because right now we've got Sinner, Alcaraz, Zverev. Fritz. So Fritz was number 12 last year. So he went back in the top 10. Draper came out of... he was outside the top 20 this time last year. He was 27 in the world, and then he came back in. Remember, this is pre-US Open, so Draper got a lot of points at this time. Djokovic still there. Demonor still there. Then you got Shelton, who this time last year was 14 in the world. Runa Musetti. And both Runa Musetti was 16, 17. So a lot of like 4 players that are in the top 10 now that weren't last year were like between 10 and 20. So there's a lot, And then Draper's the one who came out of nowhere from 27 to 5 in 12 months. So yeah, I mean, again, pretty familiar, And plus, Runa and Fritz had been in the top 10 before. Musetti wasn't far away anyway. Shelton was sort of on the brink of top 10 last year anyway. So it's pretty. I think. And Draper, we all expected to be top 10 eventually. So I don't think the top 10 this year compared to last year looks that... Like, there's no one in the top 10 we're like, wow, that's crazy. Maybe 12 months ago, Anisimova for the ladies was like, we didn't know what to expect, and then she's in the top 10. We're like, wow. But on the women's side, I feel like it's similar. There's no massive shock. We thought Andreeva would be there eventually. Badosha's been top 10 before. Navarro... sort of made top 10 once the US Open was over. So I feel like the top 10 12 months ago doesn't look too different. It doesn't seem too shocking. There's double fault from Gauff. Is that the second one? Only the second one. 30-15. As we return to the backhand of Gauff. Backhand from Kudermetova. Into the forehand of Gauff. Kudermetova again to the forehand of Gauff. It's Kudermetova hits a backhand down the line. Gauff gets on the stretch. And hits a forehand cross court. Kudermetova gets it. Gauff forehand down the line. Into the backhand of Kudermetova. There's Gauff backhand again to the backhand of Kudermetova. Into the backhand of Gauff. It's Kudermetova forehand. Gauff in the net. 30-all. 30-all. All. As we return in the net from Gauff, and it's 30-40, breakback point for Kudermetova to get back on serve. By the way, chat, yesterday I didn't end up taking the bus or the train to the thrift, but it was probably for the best because when I got there was nothing there. I went out yesterday for 2 hours and I found nothing. No cool. By the way, chat, the amount of people that were at the thrift yesterday, Thursday must be like thrift day because it was so busy. And it was just like people everywhere. It was annoying. Backhand into the forehand of Gauff. Gauff hits it out. We're back on serve. A sloppy game from Coco. I couldn't find anything. I went to like some antique stores. I couldn't find anything. I was looking for CDs and I'm like, nothing. I couldn't find nothing. And then I was looking for like TV shows. By the way, I've got to find season 1 of 24. I remember watching that show back probably about, maybe I watched it like 10, 12 years ago. At least the first season. That show was epic. And that's always at the thrift. So I'm going to try and find season 1 of 24. I feel like that is what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do, 24. And I'm just going to put it on the background while I do this, while I stream. I'll just put it on there. 24 is my favorite. Yeah, I feel like it was such a great show. You can spend all day at one thrift. Stuff comes out every 30 minutes. Yeah, they don't do that in Australia. Like I know in like America and stuff, they do like. From what I've seen is they do like daily, but also I don't think I think you guys probably get more stuff in Canada. Like in Australia, there's probably not as many people donating stuff, or like not as many people. There's not as many people. But yeah, I found like yesterday. I mean, I found way more cool shit at the thrift on like Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. I was hanging out and I was like finding jackpot on CDs on Monday, Tuesday. Like Tuesday, I found so much stuff. All those CDs, bunch of movies. Like it was so good. And then today was not. Maybe it's because I went 2 days ago. That's probably my problem. I need to go once a week. If I go every second day, it's not going to be any new stuff. Yeah. So maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to go on Monday or Tuesday next week. I feel like that five track. What is it? There's a bit of drop shot from Gauff. Too good. Level 15. I found that 5-track CD player. You know. That's your next trip. Come to Edmonton, go thrifting, and go to Vancouver? Maybe, yeah. Wednesday has half price day in our area. Maybe it's 50% day. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe on Wednesday, like everything gets, all the cool stuff disappears, and then Thursday they got nothing to. Yeah, I don't know. There must be some system they do, right, where it's like, I don't know. There must be something where they're like, oh, well, you know, all the good stuff goes out at the start of the week, and then at the end of the week they've got nothing. I don't know how the thrift system works. When's the best? Chad, do you go to the thrift store? And if so, when's the best? Do you know if there's a best day? I know Wednesday they have sales. I saw some sales on Wednesday when I went on Monday or Tuesday. I'll go to the thrift today, and we'll after I go to the doctor, and I'll see if I can score any cool things. 15 all. As the backhand goes into the backhand of Gauff. Backhand slice from Kudermetova. As Gauff backhand goes wide. And it's 30-15. I think the British pair are Wimbledon winner. Okay. Gauff has losing record against Buzkova. Wednesday is seniors day at mine. Okay. Wednesdays for me or Saturday? Okay. Yeah, I found like yesterday there was so many people. So many people were there yesterday. Maybe it's like a work thing as well. Like people get Thursdays off or some shit. I saw there was just so many people. 40-15. As a return goes into the back of Kudermetova. Kudermetova hits out, 40-30. Hope your finger heals soon. Thank you. Well, I'm going to go to the doc today, and they're going to check it and re-wrap it. So, hopefully, it doesn't hurt. So it must be healing. Thursday is payday for some people. Yeah, maybe that's what it is too, you know. Anyway, it's 40-30. As we're backhand from Gauff. Into the backhand of Kudermetova. Gauff. Backhand again, the backhand of Kudermetova. Into the forehand of Gauff. As Kudermetova forehand again to the forehand of Gauff. As Kudermetova goes to the slice of Gauff. Into the backhand of Kudermetova. Gauff. Forehand on the stretch. Kudermetova slices down the line. Gauff gets to the backhand. Kudermetova goes down the line to the forehand of Gauff. Into the forehand of Kudermetova. To the forehand of Gauff down the line. That's a good shot. Kudermetova gets it. Backhand of Gauff on the stretch. And then Kudermetova in the net. Good rally. Deuce. So Chad, so I went out for 2 hours, found nothing, came back. And I just watched movies and I have this... after Wimbledon, I bought myself a present and I haven't built it yet. So it's been sitting in my lounge room or my living room for like 2 weeks. It's this huge Lego set that's going to take me like a week to build. So I'm just going to build it in parts. So yesterday I built the bottom part of it. It's a huge tower. It's the biggest one probably the biggest Lego I have. So I did that instead. It was much more enjoyable than not finding any cool shit in the thrift. All right, deuce. As the return goes in from Gauff to the forehand of Kudermetova. That's a good shot. Kudermetova gets to advantage. How is my finger? It's all right. Hopefully it's a little bit more healed so then I can, I don't have to wear this bandage the whole time. Are car boot sales a thing in Australia? They are. I mean, this time of year is so bad to do any, like, to go. People aren't selling, like, getting rid of stuff. It was winter. So people aren't having, yard sales because it's raining or cold and, people aren't doing anything because it's cold. So in a month, things will start happening, Kudermetova holds. All right, 4-4. All right, 4-4. Yeah, once the weather starts getting a little warmer, then people are going to start doing stuff. People then start having yard sales because I think that's where I find really cool stuff. Is if I go to yard sales. If I go to, like, thrift stores are only going to have as much as people, donate. But I think if I go to yard sales, that's when I'm going to find, like, CD collections and cool, like, cool furniture and stuff. All right, so tomorrow in Toronto, there is... God, man, every time I look at Toronto, it's boring. Like, I'm sorry, there's nothing to watch. I look at the schedule and I'm like, we're going to Montreal tomorrow. Montreal tomorrow is way better. Way better tomorrow. Montreal tomorrow is way better. Rublev Sonigo is interesting, but, it's all right. Fiesler Hetcher is pretty good. That's all right. 30-15. Organized and advertised estate sales are the way to go. Yeah, that happens later in the year. I think once the US Open's over, that's when I'm going to just, like... I'll have in the mornings I'll be able to go on like weekends, I'll be able to go to like all these things because usually these things happen at like 7 o'clock in the morning, right? And I'm sitting right here, Actually, is there any yard sales tomorrow? Not that I could go because I'll be streaming, but all right, Kudermetova makes an error and it's 40 love. $40-15. There's double fault from Gauff and it's 40-30. 40-30. First serve is a fault, second serve. All right, we get the deuce. Gauff's been serving well until this game. All right, we get the deuce. By the way, I'm finding a lot of VHS tapes at the thrift these days, which is awesome. If I collected those, I would buy them. But I don't. So I don't. Backhand rally. As that goes to the net from Kudermetova. Advantage Gauff. Also, chat, I found on online, somebody was selling, and I don't know if I should buy it or not. Somebody was selling a landline telephone as that goes in from Kudermetova on the forehand from Gauff in the net and deuce. Somebody, there was, I didn't even know it was a thing. Apparently, it's an invention from I think Korea, and it's a landline telephone with a clock radio, like you've got the clock radio on one side and the buttons above it for the phone on the other side. Like that is awesome. That's so cool. That's such a cool thing. What a cool invention. Never seen it before in my life. It looks so cool. It was like it was yellow because it comes from probably a smoking house, but that's so cool. It was so cool. I nearly bought it, and I was like, what am I? Nah, what am I do with that? It looks sick though, like a landline phone with a clock radio. Like that's what a great invention. Anyways, advantage Kudermetova as the backhand goes into the backhand of Gauff. As she hits a lovely drop shot, but Kudermetova gets there and hits in the net. We get back to deuce. Yeah, very unique. I've never seen one in my life. I've seen clock radios and I've seen telephones, but I haven't seen a clock radio telephone combination. It was so cool. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. As Gauff double faults, this is by far the toughest game she's had. She was up 4-1, so maybe the momentum is against her, and that's why she's making these double faults and making these errors. Oh, there's a yard sale on tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. Double fault, man, that's brutal. That was by far, Gauff has been playing well. That game, I think she had 4 double faults. And that cost her for sure. That was definitely, that game probably cost her the set. That was tough. She was, like I said, was serving pretty well until that moment. All right. Now Kudermetova is going to serve for the set. By the way, chat, it's kind of crazy it's already August. I know that everyone says that about every month, but August seems very like late in the year. Shit. Already? It's August. That's crazy. All right, Kudermetova. She's going to serve for the set. It's crazy because it was 2 months ago. It was April. I know, right? I know, it's crazy. August is only half. It's for only half of the viewers, maybe 20. You mean like the audio, like people watch tennis only half the people watch tennis in August? That's not true. The US Open starts in August. All right, 15 love. All right, as Gauff wins a point, 15-0. Bit of fault, second serve. As the return goes into the net from Gauff. And it's 30-15. So, Chad, we're going to do a little bit of analysis. Because the double faults are obviously, the biggest conversation when we talk about Coco Gauff. I want to just go through, try and figure out why the double faults happened in this first set. If she does lose the set, that is. And maybe we can kind of figure out why in this particular situation there was a lot of double faults. 30-0. If she wins the set, we probably don't need to do it. But if she loses the set, it definitely felt like it's cost her, right? Especially that last game. All right, backhand Kudermetova, open court. Up goes a lob, but it's no good by Gauff. All right, 5-4. As the forehand goes into the backhand of Gauff. Backhand Kudermetova to the forehand slice of Gauff as Kudermetova goes down the line. Gauff on the stretch. Kudermetova forehand again as Gauff. Forehand into the forehand of Kudermetova. Gauff with a forehand again. Kudermetova again to the forehand of Gauff. It's Kudermetova forehand in the net and Gauff survives. We get the deuce. Remember, Gauff was almost up... she was at 30 or at 3 love, and she could have gone 4 love in this one. She could have. There was an opportunity, but she didn't. Okay. Deuce. Gauff saves 1. set point. As the return goes into the forehand of Kudermetova. Backhand slice from Gauff as Kudermetova forehand again is a winner. And it is advantage Kudermetova. Advantage Kudermetova to take the set. Serve backhand goes wide by Gauff, and Kudermetova takes a set. From 4-1 down, she comes back and takes the first set 6-4. So I'm just trying to find something. So Gauff served 7 double faults in that set. Most of them were happening at that 4-4 game, though. I think she had 4 double faults in that 4-4 game. Let me just have a look. Is there a way that I can see how many double faults per game, or is that not a thing that people... We can't see it. Nope, apparently I can't see that. All right. So in the first game of the match, she served 1. Right? So I think first game of the match, she served 1 double fault. Didn't cost her a game. She won the game. Then she broke. Then she got 3-love, 3-1. I think in the 2, when she was up 2-love serving, she hit 0 double faults. So the big thing is, chat. The question is, why at 4-all did she hit that many double faults? Because I think at like 4-2 when she got broken back, she only hit I think she only hit 2 double faults. So she only hit, again, I'm trying to remember, but 1 double fault in the first game didn't cost her a game. I think it was like 1 double fault in the 5th game, that didn't cost her anything. But why at 4-all do you think that she hit 4 double faults? When for the entire set she was playing amazing. I mean, let's stop using. Let's try not to just use one word answers where it's just like, oh, we're just gonna blanket statement, right? Let's not try and just be like, oh, it's mental, or it's the pressure, or it's the like. Let's try and like, let's think a little harder than just like throwing out buzzwords, right? Because yeah, we all know it's because of the pressure, it's because of the mentality, it's because of this, that. Let's try and figure out why though. Like what? Remember, she was up 4-1. So for me, I'm looking at this going, okay, well, she's up 4-1. She was serving great. She was fine. No, everything was fine. Everything was fine. Then she gets broken. The momentum goes with Kudermetova, and then when she gets to 4-all, after having the lead, what's going on in her head, right? Rather than just being like, oh, it's mental. Okay, well, what's she thinking then? What is going on in her brain? Well, in her brain, she's probably thinking, shit, I had the lead. And now I'm friggin' 4-all, and I should have won this set already, and now I'm losing, I'm in trouble. And she's got the confidence, and I'm losing confidence, and I feel like that momentum, and I know that's a buzzword, but the momentum that she lost, and the confidence, by the way, she's down 15-40, she's already lost. I mean, momentum's huge, she serves an ace, 30-40. At 4-all, by far her worst service game of the match. sent you something that might help. Oh, thanks, Dodgy. So yeah, I feel like instead of just saying like mentality, we got to think of like, okay, well, what's she thinking then? Like, what's going through her head? You know? 30-40. She double faults and then throws the racket. I mean, she is clearly pissed off at the way that she's serving. That was a big second serve, though. I mean, I don't why is she... My question now is why is she trying to hit massive second serves? Thanks, Dutchy. No, I was trying to find something within this match, but this is pretty cool, though. This actually might help me as well in the future. All right, so the double fault, costed that game too. So I guess the next question is, okay, if let's say the reason she double faulted in that ninth game, why she hit 4 or so double faults that cost her the game. Why did she serve so badly in that one game when the rest of the set she's been serving okay? If we put it down to her feeling that the match was slipping out of, or the set was slipping away, or she was missed, she lost, she had the opportunity and she gave it up, or she, and she felt, all those things that we say. How does she fix that? Like, how do you fix that? Instead of, and please don't just say, well, she's just got to fix her mentality. Okay? That's like saying, if I went to the gym and I said, oh, how do I get in shape? Oh, just run. Okay, cool. Yeah, no shit. Exercise. Thanks. That's a real helpful PT. You know what I'm saying? But how does she fix that? How does she not have that happen? I think the first thing to stop the bleeding is to just not serve, not try and hit big second serves. Like, even try, you know what it should be? It might be as simple as just get your serve in. Like, don't worry about trying to hit aces in the, for big first serves. Just don't miss first serves by just hit slowest first serves. And yeah, okay, it might get attacked and, maybe Kudermetova hits, 4 return winners and you lose the game anyway. But maybe it's just okay, when you feel like things are going against you and slipping away, you're serving, maybe it's just take down the serve a notch, just get the serve in, start the point. Rather than just saying don't double fault. It's okay, but get the first serve in, or, you do it like a second serve as a first serve. Hit 2 second serves, because you don't want to, if you feel like things are going wrong, the worst thing you could do is try and hit harder and try and force it to happen and force yourself to, I'm going to try and play big when I'm not playing well. Maybe it's that. Maybe in those situations, maybe it's smarter for her to try and, go, okay, things are going bad. Things are going against me. I've lost the momentum I had. I've lost that. I just have to get the serve in. Just get the serve. And obviously when you're in that situation, all this shit's going on, to think clearly like that is not easy. But obviously you can get coaching now. So the coaches could help with that, right? The coaches could be like, hey, you're in a shitty situation. First serves in. Get your serve in, even if it means that they're going to hit, what's worse, chat? Double faulting or the chance that Kudermetova is going to hit a return winner? I would rather lose a game by somebody hitting return winners than lose a game with me double faulting. That no shit, right? Kudermetova's about to get broken here, 30-40. Make Kudermetova, if you're playing poor, take it down a notch. Make your opponent hit the return winners. If they do, too good. But it's better than giving them the free point, right? So, again, we're trying to we're micro-analyzing the first set. But, again, she was serving well until that game. She was fine. But how does she get out of that funk? You know, what could she do tactically that could help her avoid that situation? You know, 30-40. As the backhand goes into the forehand of Kudermetova, into the forehand of Gauff. As Kudermetova forehand into the forehand of Gauff. Gauff hits it out, and we get the deuce. And see, but the thing is, chat, like we're all, backseat drivers, right? We're all armchair experts, right? We all know this, because we're so smart, because we sit in our house and we know everything. I wonder what her coaches are saying to her at that point, though. That would be interesting. What are her coaches saying to her at 4-all? Are they just giving the, come on, let's go? Or are they giving Ferrero Alcaraz detailed conversations, Are the coaches talking to her in detail at that situation? Because that's when she probably needs the most coaching, right? That's when you want your coach to be yapping their face off. Now, it's a different thing. Does Gauff listen to that? If they were yapping, then, it's if she's not listening, then obviously, that doesn't help. But if they are just sitting there going, let's go, you can do it, that's not helpful. I don't think it's helpful. Like, if I turn around, I'm like, what am I doing? What's happening? And my coach is saying, you can do it. Yay. I'd be like, shut up. Tell me what I should do. I don't pay you to cheerlead, But I don't know what the coaches are saying at that point. Obviously that is the point where they need to be the most vocal and the most constructive and probably the most honest as well, As Gauff hits a winner, as deuce. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't cost her the match because, she's down a set and a breakdown. She hasn't won a game since being up 4-1. What if her coach's advice was go for broke? I feel like that's a terrible advice. Go for broke. And what? Risk losing? Like, I think I think you should play it safe. To an extent at that point. I mean, I wouldn't be going for broke when you got the momentum against you. Maybe at 4-all in the second, if you're down a set already and you're like, oh shit, I better do something different. I wouldn't be doing that at 4-all in the first set when you were up 4-1. I mean, it's too early to go for broke. Throwing a Hail Mary in the second, the second quarter is not worth it. Like, why are we throwing Hail Marys? Early on. It's no point. Advantage Kudermetova. So the thing I learned from coaches I had in the past was when things are going bad against you, you got to slow down. You got to slow the tempo or change the tempo. And the opposite should happen when you're winning. You should ramp up the tempo and be faster because, if you're playing well, you want to play fast, or at least you want to play. You want to keep it going. So Kyrgios does this really well. When you watch him winning, he also does it bad when he's losing. But when he's winning, Kyrgios is playing like 30-second service games. He's flying through matches, right? He's going through games because he knows, like, I'm feeling good. I'm serving great. Let's keep going. I don't want to slow myself down. But then when you're playing bad, you want to do the opposite, right? You don't want to play quick because you want to slow it down, take some time, think, take a couple of deep breaths, all that stuff. But like more so slow them down, slow the other person down because they're feeling good if you're losing, right? They're winning. So I wouldn't say go for broke at 4-all after losing momentum. I'd be like, nah. Stop, take a minute, get a time violation. Like shit, take as much time as you need. And if the umpire penalizes you, then who cares, As long as it's not a second one, first one is fine. And then I would say, just slow it down, Don't try and hit your way out of that situation because then you're just going to make more errors and going to make it worse for yourself, right? At least that's what I would try and do, And then again, just if the serves become a problem, just do everything you can to get a serve in. The first serve, if it's a slow first serve, get it in. Just get that serve in. Kudermetova serves an ace, and we're back to deuce. Anyway, she hasn't lost yet, so we can't, We can't, There's that the one game, though. That's the thing. It was a 4-4 game where she just served it's been the worst game of the match for her by far. All right, back to Deuce here. A bit of serve. It's too strong. Kudermetova. Advantage Kudermetova. Can we think about the reason her double faults before we adjust? Is it faster, slower on one side? I don't know exactly where her double faults are coming from. Like, as in, like, what direction or, like, what... Like, I got to watch the match and then, like, study the double faults. But I don't know if there's, like, a consistent... Like, if there's a pattern with, like, oh, she only double faults on this side of the court. Or she only double faults, you know, in this particular way, you know. As it back and return the net, and Kudermetova holds 2-love. She's won, 7 games in a row? Momentum is huge in tennis. But yeah, I feel like watching Gauff, especially today, there's been a combination of double faults where the second serve's gone halfway up the net, and the second serve she's tried to hit really hard out of frustration, most likely, and it's gone out, right? So I feel like there's not really a consistency of like, oh yeah, she only double faults on this side of the court and in the net. Otherwise, that would be a lot easier to fix because you could focus on that. But she double faults in a variety of different ways, you know, and that's a problem because there's no like consistency with that. It's like, shit, all right, well, there's a lot of things you have to fix if there's like a lot of different double faults. But again, I think the biggest thing, and I know at 4-4 you don't want to play safe, but when you're down, when you're up 4-1 and then you go to 4-4, and you're known to double fault in stressful situations, at least this week, I would be saying that at that point, everything you should be doing is get that first serve in. Do not give this person any free points. If they beat you in that game, you get broken anyway, that's fine. At least you can say they beat me, not I gave them a free game, right? Again, if you're up 4-1 and you get to 4-4 and you feel like the momentum's going against you, that's when, obviously if you're up, if it's, if you're not up 4-1 and it's 4-4, you should keep playing the way you've been playing. But if you're if you're up 4-1 and then 4-4, comes along, Kudermetova nearly hits a great winner, but it goes in the net 30-0. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you don't change your game. Like, if you're down 4-1 and you get to 4-0, you shouldn't then play safe. Like, that's stupid. You should keep doing what you're doing to get you into the match, right? And put the pressure on them and be aggressive and, do all that. It's only when you're leading and you lose the lead that's when you should rethink, okay, I gotta slow it down here. Because you got to stop their momentum. And do things that they don't, like they want to play quick. They want you to feel the pressure. They want to keep running through this. So how do you stop them from doing that? Well, you can slow down, and not give them any free points. That's the big one, is Gauff holds and breaks the streak. She's on the board. All right, 2-1. Am I making any sense? Again, this, I don't know. But chat, I'll tell you this. If Gauff does figure out, I don't think she'll ever hit no double faults because even Sabalenka has her days, right? Sabalenka's had a great 2 years where she's not double faulted as much. But she'll have a day where she'll double fault 10 times. And she'll lose a match because of her serve, right? We know that. Sabalenka is not immune to she's not double fault free. But how does Gauff stop it from becoming a conversation that we talk about a lot, Like, how does it become, not something that costs as many matches? Like, it would be interesting to check out all the losses she's had and all the double faults in those losses. I don't know if you can do that, but if you could, if there's an easy way to do that, how many times has the loss, how many times are we point at the double faults of Gauff this year and go, well, she lost because she hit this many double faults? Let me have a look. Let me see if I can find the answer. She's had 15 losses this year, right? Sorry, 10 losses. She's lost only 10 times this year. Amazing. But how many times has that the loss resulted in, like, let's say, double-digit double faults, right? That's the, I think that's the, if she hits like 5 or 6 or 7, yeah, okay. But if she hits like double digits, that's like serious, right? All right, so Gauff has lost 10 matches. Badosa in Australia. Actually, let me do this manually. Okay. So let's go back to Wimbledon. She lost to Yastremska first round. She hit 9 double faults in that loss. Against Wong, she hit 7 double faults in Berlin. She didn't lose at the French Open, so it doesn't matter. In Rome, final, she hit 7 double faults, lost to Paolini. Madrid final, lost to Sabalenka, hit 8 double faults. So there is a trend that she's hitting between 5 and 10 double faults in those losses. She lost to Paolini also in Stuttgart. Only 3 double faults. So obviously double faults weren't a problem, or weren't the reason she lost to Paolini over in Stuttgart. In Miami, she hit 12 double faults, lost to Lynette. That's definitely the reason. 8 double faults against Bencic in Indian Wells. She lost. She lost to Kessler in Dubai, only with the 1 double fault. So again, okay, double faults weren't that a problem that day. She lost to Kostyuk in Doha, 7 double faults that day. Australian Open lost to Badosa, 6 double faults. And that's it. So the time she's hit like 20 double faults, she's won. It's weird. Between when she's lost, besides what, like 3 matches where she hit under 5 double faults, 3 losses were under the double faults weren't a thing. 6 or 7 of those matches she hit between 5 and 10 double faults. So she's obviously still winning a lot of matches despite double faulting. Because there's been times where she's double faulted 15 times, but then she didn't lose, so she beat Collins with 23, right? So yeah. It's easy to say that she lost because of double faults. But not always. It doesn't seem like it's one of the reasons she loses, or she's had some losses, but not the main reason. It's not the only reason. Her serve isn't costing her. Well, she won the French Open, so she obviously is not doing that bad if she won the French Open, despite having bad serving days. 30 all. All right. Gauff trying to fight back. There's a second serve. Into the forehand of Gauff. Gauff in the net. And it's 40-30. Yeah, the forehand is also a thing that comes up, during these days. So some of the times where she loses, it's because of the forehand, not just the serve. But I feel like if she's serving well, everything else is. I mean, if you're serving well, the rest of your game. Like if you're serving bad, you feel like, oh shit, then everything else has to work well, otherwise you're screwed. 40-30. As Gauff returns into the forehand of Kudermetova. Gauff for the backhand. To the slice of Kudermetova. Let's go for the forehand again. The backhand of Kudermetova. Into the backhand of Gauff. Kudermetova forehand. As Gauff hits the drop shot. But it's in the net. Kudermetova 3-1. Again, chat, this is what I think we should do in tennis. And I know some people do this, but I feel like if we're going to allow coaching to happen, coaches should be mic'd up. Because there's not, I want to know right now, what is the noise coming out of Gauff's coach's box? I want to hear the instruction as a fan. And I know that, okay, it's going to, trade secrets and shit like that. And, players are going to then read each other. Yeah, okay. But I want to hear what they're saying to Gauff right now. That is because what are they instructing her to do in this moment when she's not playing well? And she's got the momentum against her and everything's going badly. I want to know what they're saying. I want to hear them. And I feel like that would be like, if the coaching is allowed, which it is, right? Coaching is legal. We're missing a massive opportunity to hear the insights with no microphones being, even a microphone in the box, not mic'd up for that. Maybe they're not mic'd up, but it's like there's a microphone. They've got cameras there, a microphone there. You know, coaches often have mic, but they cover it with towels. Well, I feel like, Chad, let me know. What do you think about that? I know, like, people, and I'm not a massive fan of the coaching, but I think if there is coaching, then shit, we should get something out of it. Like, as by the way, that ball was out by so much. I don't know why Kudermetova asked for a challenge. That can't be the right ball. Like, I don't like the coaching situation. I'm not a massive fan of, like, you know, it feels like it doesn't feel like, I don't feel like a one-on-one sport anymore. It feels like it's a team sport. A little bit more, right? But I would love to hear what they say. If they're gonna talk so much or they're gonna instruct, I want to know what they're saying, because then we would learn something. Especially right now, what the hell is the coaching staff of Coco Gauff telling her? What are they saying right now? Because I think that's very important to understanding, like, you know, what the hell's what we're watching, you know? 30-15. Is it a forehand now from Kudermetova? Too good. This is where Kudermetova's just like, well, I'm winning, so I'm just going to just keep hitting the ball hard. 30-all. As the forehand goes down the line, the backhand of Kudermetova. Gauff gets there with a slice, but it's wide. Kudermetova, 30-40. $30-40. $30-40. As Kudermetova hits it out in the return, deuce. You know what we should have in tennis? You know how, like, the NBA, sometimes they go to the huddle and they have a microphone and that. Like, we don't need mics I don't need to hear the coach say everything all the time. But I feel like there's a massive missed opportunity to have, like, in certain moments, especially for the broadcast, as that goes in the net from Kudermetova and it's advantage Gauff. Like, when they're doing, like, NBA, I love the coverage when they get into the huddle and they hear what they're saying in the huddle and, like, what the game plan or what the strategy is. I love that. And I feel like we could do that in tennis so easily. And it should be, if you want to be able to get coached, then we should be able to hear what you're saying. Because you're saying it out loud. So we should be able to microphone somewhere and you're not, like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like for the broadcast, it would be so beneficial to the audience. And it should be a requirement. You want this rule, you want this thing to happen, then we're going to be able to hear you. We want to be able to broadcast that. I think that's, you know, I think that should be a good trade-off. You know what I mean? Like, if coaches are like, no, I don't want to have a microphone. Well, then don't talk. You know, it should, you know, there should be a trade-off, you know, for it. All right, advantage Gauff. But I think it would be such a beneficial, you know, it would be such a great, not just for, like, us as, you know, fans, but, like, for people that were learning tennis. I feel like you would hear something, like, you could hear something from Juan Carlos Ferrero talking to Carlos Alcaraz. And yeah, okay, they speak Spanish, so, you know, obviously there's going to be a translation issue, but, you know, it's very easy to translate stuff like that. You know. And I know they sometimes do it at the majors and they do it at some of the big tournaments, but I feel like it could be something that's done everywhere, especially at the 1000s. I mean, 1000s are mini majors. You know, this is a mini major. We need to have this, you know, this kind of technology available. Gil agrees with you. If you have it, make use of it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, unfortunately, there's so many opportunities that tennis technologically could do much better. And I know we get rid of the lines people and we do Hawkeye and shit, and it's like, okay, cool. But that's just scratching the surface. I mean, there's so many, like, the broadcast could be so much better. And I know it's a money thing and whatever, but but also it's like there's so much more that could, and maybe you only do it for center court matches, but there's so much more you could do that could help the viewing experience of the sport. As Gauff, it's a lovely winner, and she holds, but it's setting a breakdown still. And I feel like that's one of them, right? Because if I'm learning tennis, I'm like let's say I'm a 12-year-old kid learning tennis, and I hear one of the best coaches in the world say something to one of the best players in the world about a certain thing that I'm struggling with, like let's say I'm having a bad serving day as well, or my serve is a problem for me, and I hear a little gold nugget that so-and-so says to a player, and then that player implements and starts winning, I'm going to use that in my situation. Like I'm going to go play my under 12s tournament. And then if I'm in a situation, I'll be like, oh, remember what so-and-so said to this person in that same situation? I'm going to implement that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would be so beneficial. And not to mention for coaches as well, for like people that are coaching, junior players, or even just coaching anybody, picking up like gold nuggets from the best coaches in the world, hearing what they say in those situations. As coaches, we could learn so much, There's so much benefit, but they don't do it. For whatever reason, they just don't freaking do it. But they should. They should do it. I suspect most of it's encouragement and the little taxis thrown in. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to hear people just being like, let's go. Like, I don't want to hear that all the time. I'm just talking about like those conversations where there's like an in-depth one-on-one with the player, and it's like I want to hear those things, and I want those things to be broadcast, and they are. I think like during some of the slams they definitely do that, and also, chat, I have an app on my phone. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's called Translate, and you can put subtitles as the Spanish or the French or like English subtitles in real time very, very quickly on a broadcast. So if Juan Carlos Ferrero is talking to Carlos Alcaraz and I don't understand it because I don't speak Spanish because I'm, barely speak English, you could put that on the screen for the broadcast for us to hear and understand, instead of just being like, oh yeah, Juan Carlos is talking to him. Okay, what's he saying? I don't live with a Spanish interpreter. Can we please have some translation? That I feel like we miss that as well. We could easily have that too. That could be such an easy thing to implement. Yeah, okay, I could get my phone out and record the audio off the TV, but it's not always as crisp. You don't always get the exact words. But why aren't we doing that? I mean, why can't we do that as well, right? Anyways, we've gone off track. Let's get back to the match for love 15. As Kudermetova hits it out, love 30. A little chance for Coco to get back the break. All right, serve. As the return goes in the forehand of Kudermetova, backing it from Gauff. And then slice to Kudermetova is Gauff forehand. Into the forehand of Kudermetova is Gauff forehand again. Goes to the back end of Kudermetova to the back end of Gauff. Into the forehand of Kudermetova is Gauff with the forehand down the line, goes long, and it's 15-30. Why I mentioned translating earlier is it in relation to secret code, just preserve strategy, not something an app can assist with. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, obviously some, maybe coaches and players have their own, own terminology for things to keep it a secret, but isn't that giving away tactics to your opponent? It could be, yeah, maybe. But then again, it's like, well, if you don't want to, If you're on the court and you're telling your player, you're shouting out instructions, you don't think the other person's going to like hear that anyway? Like, I mean, or like at least like catch on to that, or like, I don't know, like, don't say it then. If it's going to give away strategy, don't say it out loud. They probably talked about it beforehand anyway. You know, if this situation, we should do this. And it's 30-all. As the return goes back into Kudermetova, back in from Gauff. Again, the back into Kudermetova is Gauff forehand. The back into Kudermetova, again, the back into Gauff. Kudermetova slice. Gauff comes in and puts it away. It's 30-40, break back point. $30-40. 30-40. Or you know what they should do, Chuck? Because, I mean, like, look, so many other sports we hear from coaches, right? Boxing, you know, UFC or MMA, you know, basketball. You know, we hear even like, you know, football, we hear the coach like shouting across the pitch, right? That's a default second serve. Maybe we should have like a designated, like, okay, this is when you can, this is like, there's a, you know, halfway through the set, you can talk to the coach, you know, or whatever. As Gauff, it's a return winner, we're back on serve, 3-3. You know, or maybe like there's like a, after this, you know, the seventh, you know, maybe the seventh game of the match after that, or the fifth game of the match, you can go to your coaches and you can have a chat. And we hear that because we're, you know, as the fans. Or, you know, and I'm not saying like a timeout, but maybe like that after the fifth game of the match, because then that means, you know, once a set at least, right? At 3-2, 4-1, 5-love, whatever. There's like not a timeout, but like a 90-second like coaches, like that's when you can go to the coach. And for that 90 seconds, for that sit down, you can, your coach comes out. I know they used to do that. Maybe your coach comes out because, you know, you want to relax, right? Maybe you have the option for your coach to come out and talk to you one-on-one. And I thought the WTA did that really well, you know. I thought it was good, you know, or at the end of the set, right? And I feel like we got some really interesting sound bites from that too, because everybody remembers Halep and Cahill talking and Halep's losing her mind. And that like interesting like interaction, you know. I feel like we could do that. There could be something that we do with that. And do it in a more controlled way that can actually be beneficial for the broadcast, you know. Rather than it just being like, oh yeah, the coach can just yap and the player can just hear that and nobody knows what's going on except for those two people. And it's like, well, okay, that doesn't benefit anybody except for the person and the player. You know, it'd be awesome to hear it for us to understand it so we get an idea of what's going on and you know, I don't know. But anyway, it's 40-love. I don't know how we got onto this. Oh, yeah, because I want to know what Gauff's coaches were telling her. Anyway, it's 40-love because I can't hear him. Forehand to forehand rally. As we get a backhand out from Gauff in the net and we get to 40-15. Cam advocating for something at the Mickey Mouse Cup. Now I have seen it all. No, I'm just trying to, I don't even know. Did they do that at the Mickey Mouse Cup? I didn't even know that. All right, 40-15. As Gauff holds, all right, 4-3. Coco gets back in front. All right, Gauff with the lead. When the game becomes less about loving it and more about resentful pressure, you're in trouble. Okay. On the changeover, when I saw it anyway. Yeah, I don't know about every changeover the coach can talk to the player. I don't know if that's every changeover. I don't think, you know. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a way that we as fans could hear what... Because at the end of the day, it'd be more interesting rather than us playing we play guessing games all the fucking time when it comes to tennis, right? We're guessing what are they thinking, what's the strategy. Like we're all playing guessing games, but to take the guessing game out of it and actually hear like, oh, the coach said this to the player and the player's doing this would just make it really easy for fans to understand what the hell's going on and why it's happening. I think it'd be just so much better if we knew as we understood what was happening more easily, right? Rather than just being like, oh, maybe the coach said this, maybe they're doing this. You know, we can make our best guess, but it'd be so much better if we actually heard the coach's instruction. Because also it's interesting if the coach's instruction is coming and the player's doing something different. Like that's interesting to know, oh shit, the coaches are saying, hey, you need to do this. And the player's like, I'm doing this instead. Like to that would be an interesting to see that, you know, as well. Because that would happen a lot too. If the coach says something and the player's like, get stuffed, I'm doing something else. Like I'm sure that happens as well. You know? I just think that it would be such a great, it'd be so good to know that, you know, understand that and hear that. Anyways, 15 love. At least hear it on a more regular basis, you know. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. As the return goes in the backhand of Kudermetova. Gauff forehand to the backhand again of Kudermetova. Gauff gets the point. Kudermetova hits a wide, 15-all. As the return goes now from Gauff, 30-15. So now Kudermetova has the momentum against her, and she is getting angry. But she knows that, remember how Gauff was up 4-1 in the first? She's in the situation that Gauff was in the first set. So this turns this game very important. She needs to get this game to just slow things down. First serve's a fault, second serve. Kudermetova won 7 games in a row, and now she's lost, 4 of the last 5? So momentum with Gauff, as Gauff hits a slice into the net. So, and this is where Coco, it's funny because we talk about momentum in the first set and how Gauff had to change things. When you've got the momentum, trying to hit a drop shot, that's a little too far. Unless you hit drop shots to get to this stage. But like trying to do that is just like too much. Like, she doesn't need to do that. You know, it's like you didn't get to 4-3 by hitting drop shots. So don't do that. Like, you know, just play how you played. What do they say? Dance with the date that you brought to the whatever. You know that saying. What's it called? Dance with the one who brought you, right? So if you're playing a game, you're playing a style, don't just go and drop shot. You're hitting forehand winners, keep doing that. No need to change it. And it's 4-all. Especially when Kudermetova was starting to get frustrated. You could tell, like, okay, shit, she's feeling it. But then Coco hit 30-15, hit a drop shot and gave her a free point, and now it's 4-all. You know, those little things, those little decisions, like those are big decisions. You know, if Coco doesn't go for that drop shot and tries to hit a forehand winner and it gets a 30-all, that's a different situation if Kudermetova's pissed off as well, you know. Whereas if you give her a free point of 30-15, she's like, oh, great, thanks. She's less annoyed. As Gauff hits a smash 15-all. And obviously it's a split-second decision. She's thinking, oh, I'm feeling pretty good now. Maybe I'll do a drop shot. But, you know, she hits it in. She looks like a genius. But it's really high risk. Especially when Kudermetova can come to the net and do well. And hit, volleys, All right, 15 all. As Gauff double faults, 15-30. Gauff hasn't hit a double fault in a while. Eric, I'm sorry, but that one was on you. You did that. That was your fault. That was on you. That was terrible timing, Eric. That was a rough one. 15-30. Double fault twice. Oh, no, Eric. Eric, say something different. Say something else. 15-40. Chat, by the way, first set, 4-all. She hit 4 double faults. She's hit 3 in this game, or 2 in this game. The 4-all game is the one. I typed that before watching it. Oh, okay. Anyways, return goes in the net. That's one good serve, 30-40. This 4-all situation seems to be the problem. Can she get out of this problem? As the return goes into the front of Gauff. Gauff hits a winner. That's better. All right, deuce. Still not out of this situation, but let's see what she can do. As Gauff serves again. As return goes in the net from Kudermetova, and Gauff gets to advantage. Cam, you really don't give any credit to Kudermetova, who is playing fantastic today. Fuck me. All right. Sorry. Advantage Gauff. As a return goes in the front of Gauff. Back in out from Kudermetova. Nope, Gauff in the net. Deuce. All right, we get the deuce. As we just serve into the back end, a body of Kudermetova. Good return. But Gauff puts it away. That was a smart serve. See, look. Doesn't have to hit a big serve. Go for a body serve. First serve, slower into the body. Gets a short response. That's a good shot. Advantage Gauff. She serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Double fault. Oh, God. See, even then, when you're up, when you got the advantage, okay, try and get out of this game quickly and, try and hit a big serve. But it's like, nah, just get the serve in. Just get the first serve in. Don't need a... Because now we're back at deuce, And Kudermetova could make an error. If you give her a shot, give her a chance, she could make an error, As Gauff faults again. Serve goes in the corner of Kudermetova. Corner from Gauff is in, and then Kudermetova hits it wide. Gauff must have hit the line by this much. Advantage Gauff. Advantage Gauff. Good serve to the body of Kudermetova. Gauff for the backhand as Kudermetova slices it back. And that goes in the net from Gauff. And we're back to deuce. Cam, I really don't like you when you're like that. Well, tough luck. All right, deuce. As the backhand return goes out, Gauff serve comes to the rescue. Advantage Gauff. Coco emotions got her right now. Difficult if she doesn't try to improve her serve. Yeah, I've been talking about that for the last 2 hours. As the return goes in the net and Gauff survives. 5-4. She did hit three double faults in that game, but luckily it didn't cost her. By the way, the reason why we're not talking about Kudermetova as much is because, yeah, she's playing a good game, Kudermetova, but Gauff is the reason this match is this way. If Gauff plays, serves better, she's not losing. She's not in this position. She was up 4-1 until she started serving poorly, Gauff. Yeah, Kudermetova's played well. But the reason why we're in this situation is not because Kudermetova's playing a great match. She's playing a good match. Gauff is playing a poor match. Both things can be true. But it's more interesting to talk about Gauff playing poorly than it is to just go, oh, Kudermetova's playing amazing. Yeah, okay, but that's only half the story. And it's also boring to just be like, oh, well, Kudermetova's playing too good today. Well, that's not true because look at Gauff's double faults. If Gauff had 0 double faults and Kudermetova was the winning, we'd be like, well, it must be Kudermetova. No, it's both. One player's playing well, the other player is struggling, and it's more interesting to talk about why they're struggling. But you give them all the credit, and that's fine. I'm going to analyze why the other person's struggling. Why did you move your sofa? I liked it where it was before. All right. We're only... Okay. Here we go. Here we go, chat. Here we go. All right. We might have another set to play here, so can we lock in? There's a little bit. Can we lock in? 5-4. Kudermetova serving to stay in the set. Rude wins. Cool. As we're backhand from Gauff into the backhand of Kudermetova. That's just too good. 15 love. Serve again. As the return goes into the forehand of Gauff. Forehand from Kudermetova to the backhand of Gauff. As Kudermetova hits in the net. 15 all. Casper wins. Nice. All right. Okay. $30-15. $30-15. As Kudermetova says a fault. That was a very late call by Hawkeye. As the return goes the forehand of Kudermetova. Gauff forehand of the forehand of Kudermetova. As Gauff goes to the backhand of Kudermetova. Again to the forehand of Gauff. Kudermetova backhand to the backhand of Gauff. Again the backhand of Kudermetova. As Gauff with the forehand. Kudermetova backhand to the forehand of Gauff. Gauff in the net. It's 40-15. All right, 40-15. As the return goes to the forehand of Kudermetova. Gauff goes to the backhand of Kudermetova into the forehand of Gauff. As Kudermetova goes again to the forehand of Gauff. Kudermetova now the backhand of Gauff to the backhand of Kudermetova. Gauff backhand goes long, 5-5. 5-all. 5-all. All right, 5-5. Gauff serves a let. The return goes out by Kudermetova. $15 love. $30 love. There's a bit of fault from Gauff, second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Gauff. Kudermetova to the backhand of Gauff. Gauff hits it out. 30-15. 30-15. As Kudermetova gets to 30-all. As with a forehand from Gauff, that goes wide. Kudermetova's got a break point, 30-40. All right, 30-40. As Gauff serves a fault. Second serve. Serve in the backhand of Kudermetova. Return the forehand of Gauff. Kudermetova backhand again to the forehand of Gauff. It's a drop shot. Kudermetova gets there and hits it wide just. And we get to deuce. That was very close. As Gauff, it's a great serve advantage, Gauff. Number of double faults for her is shameful. Okay. Good serving, and Gauff goes to 6-5. All right. Who's winning this tournament? Is anyone actually playing well? Swiatek. Iga Swiatek will win. That is who will win. Swiatek will win. All right. Let's see if Kudermetova can get us to a tiebreak. Kudermetova serves. A fault, second serve. As a backhand goes net from Kudermetova, love 15. As a return goes the forehand of Kudermetova. Gauff for the pass. Kudermetova volley. Gauff for the pass again. But the eventual shot goes wide. And Kudermetova's getting pissed. 15-0. As Kudermetova hits it out, it's 15-30. As the return goes to forehand of Kudermetova. Gauff backhand. As Kudermetova forehand again, the backhand of Gauff. Kudermetova hits it in the net. Gauff's got set points, 15-40. All right. Set points. Good return from Gauff as she slices it into the back of Kudermetova. Gauff for the forehand. Into the back of Kudermetova as Gauff's slice goes in the net. 30-40, one saved. $30-40. $30-40, still set point. Now there's a return from Gauff. Goes in the forehand of Kudermetova. Gauff for the backhand slice. There's Kudermetova forehand down the line. Gauff for the lob. Kudermetova hits into the net. We're going 3. Gauff survives. All right. We're going 3. All right. We're going 3. That's it, by the way. 11 winners, 13 errors from Kudermetova, 16 winners and 23 errors from Gauff. Okay. All right. Cool. Gauff just practicing serves while Kudermetova goes to the bathroom. All right. Yeah, Andreeva lost. She lost. I certainly think Swiatek has a great chance at the US Open. Yeah. I'd love to see Swiatek versus Gauff or Sabalenka at the US Open. All right. All right, we're still waiting for Kudermetova to come back. I'd love to see Swiatek Pegula. That way, all four majors have had an American in final. Yeah, that'd be cool. What else? I love Swiatek to win the US Open, but I don't know. Yes, when would improve the spoken business? Okay. All right. I know one thing. Swiatek has the biggest chance of the US Open than anybody else. Yeah, I think we trust her. We trust her the most, right? We trust her that she's going to... No wonder it's so cold. It's fucking 2 degrees. It's actually freezing. No wonder it's so cold. Hang on, chat. All right, Kudermetova's back. Sabalenka won the Australian Open, French Open, and Wimbledon, then she would have 6 slams. That is true. It's 102 in Dallas right now. Screw that. I'll take my weather. I'll take my weather over yours. All day. All right. Kudermetova into the front of Gauff. Kudermetova slices it back. There's Gauff forehand at the back into Kudermetova. Gauff comes to that with a volley. Kudermetova with the pass to the net. All right, 15 love. All right, as that goes out by Kudermetova on the return, 30 love, sorry. As that goes out by Kudermetova, 40 love. As Gauff holds. Okay. Kudermetova to serve. She serves a fault. Second serve. As the return goes back into Kudermetova, backhand from Gauff into the backhand of Kudermetova as Gauff forehand. And Kudermetova backhand goes wide, love 15. Love 15. As the return goes into the backhand of Kudermetova, love 30 for Gauff here is Kudermetova in the net, love 40. Love 40. That'll be a default. Second serve. Second serve, the fault of Gauff. Backhand of Kudermetova. Goes out. Gauff breaks. 2 love. 2-0. Oh, Jesus. 2 love. All right, double fault Gauff, love 15. So we're trying to find a chair. Does the schedule come out for tomorrow, by the way? No. No. All right, love 15 as Gauff hits a slice down the line. Kudermetova backhand into the front of Gauff. And then Gauff hits it out, love 30. This is over as long as Gauff doesn't have double fault explosion, okay? As the return goes the backhand of Gauff, backhand from Kudermetova into the net. 15-30. As that goes out by Gauff on the return. From Kudermetova on the return, 30-0. As Kudermetova hits out on the return, 40-30. As Gauff backhand at the backhand of Kudermetova. Into the front of Gauff. Kudermetova forehand. Going to the front of Gauff. As Kudermetova goes again to the Gauff forehand. Backhand Kudermetova again to the front of Gauff. As Kudermetova backhand into the slice of Gauff. At the front of Kudermetova as Gauff hits a forehand winner. It's 3-love. 3-love Gauff. In the final set. 3-0. All right. All right, 3-love. It's only one break, and Gauff was 3-love up in the first set. Okay, 3-love. All right, 3-love. As Gauff hits it out, 15-love. Fault second serve. As Gauff hits a slice forehand to the back of Kudermetova. Kudermetova in the net. 15-all. $15-all. As we had a fault, second serve. As the return goes in the backhand in the net from Kudermetova. All right, 30-all. Sorry, love 30. 15-30. I can't read. 15-30. Gauff get the double break here. 15-30. As we had a fault, second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Kudermetova, Gauff with a forehand into the net, 30-all. $30-all. $30-all. As Kudermetova serves again. Into the forehand of Gauff. Back into Kudermetova. That's too good. 40-30. $40-30. $40-30. As Kudermetova holds with a good serve. 3-1. $3-1 to Gauff. Right. Good serve from Gauff. 15-love. As Kudermetova hits it out, 30-love. As the return goes to the forehand of Gauff. Gauff hits it wide, 30-15. 30-15. And she serves a fault, second serve. As the backhand goes in the backhand of Gauff, backhand of Kudermetova. Into the forehand of Gauff. It's Kudermetova backhand to the backhand of Gauff. Into the backhand of Kudermetova. Gauff with the forehand. But Kudermetova hit it out, so it's 40-15. All right, 40-15. And Gauff holds. 4-1 in the third. Okay. All right. Is Kudermetova tired? She looks slower than before. I think she's just pissed off because she's losing. She was winning, and then she's losing. All right, 4-1. Let's see if Kudermetova can stick around. She was down 1-4 in the first set, so here we are. So we got a forehand from Gauff into the back of Kudermetova. Gauff forehand to the slice of Kudermetova. Gauff comes in with the drop shot. Kudermetova gets it, but Gauff volleys it away. Love 15. Love 15. Love 15. As Kudermetova serves again. A fault, second serve. As the return goes out by Gauff, and it's 15-0. As that goes out by Gauff, and it's 30-15. As Kudermetova hits a winner, 40-15. To just keep Gauff close. As Kudermetova holds 4-2. Gauff with the break in the final set. All right, love 15. Remember, Gauff was 4-1 up in the first set. Kudermetova came back to win 6-4. So hopefully Gauff doesn't remember that. As a backhand return in the net from Kudermetova, 15-0. As the return goes... Wait, it's 15-0 now. What the fuck? It's 30-15. Okay, Kudermetova's on the wrong side. 30-15. 30-15. And the return goes out by Kudermetova, 40-15. 40-15. As the return goes wide, it's 5-2 Gauff. In the final set. 5-2. All right. Kudermetova's going to serve to stay in the match. Good recovery from Gauff, though, if she does win. Winner of this, by the way, takes on the winner of Mboko and Buzkova, who are coming on after this. So that is that. Also, Gauff is the only player in her quarter of the draw that's seeded. Everybody else has lost. So she should, if she can get through the next couple of matches, Gauff should make the semi. And maybe play Raducanu if we're basing it on form. So Raducanu, Gauff semi-final, but there's a long way to go. This match feels like 3 hours, but 2.5 hours is pretty long. You said Gauff had a nightmare draw cam? How silly of me. 5-2. Kudermetova serving to stay in the match. As it a forehand now off the tape goes wide, love 15. Love 15. As the return goes back into Kudermetova. Kudermetova in the net, love 30. Love 30. Love 30. As Kudermetova serves, a fault. Second serve. As the return goes out by Gauff, 15-30. As Kudermetova serves a fault, second serve. Anyways, Kudermetova, she hits it out, and it's match points for Gauff, 15-40, to make the fourth round. God, this tournament just keeps going, doesn't it? All right. $15.40. Kudermetova serves. As the backhand return goes to the front of Kudermetova. Gauff with a pass goes wide. 30-40. One saved. 30-40. As Kudermetova serves. A fault. Second serve. Double fault to end from Kudermetova. Gauff wins. She gets through another tough contest. But Kudermetova's got to be pissed because she was in control. And Gauff survives. She's into the fourth round. And she will take on the winner of the match coming up later. If you are leaving, don't forget to subscribe. I think we'll call that a day. I'm so... I mean, how many of you are going to stay up? And I'm talking to the Europeans. How many of you, the Europeans, are actually going to stay up for the rest of the night? Where's the schedule, by the way? Is the schedule out? No. Need the schedule for tomorrow. Need the schedule for tomorrow. All right. I'll be watching all day. Yeah, so that's why I said the Europeans. If you're in America, of course you're going to be watching the night session. If you're in Australia, you're going to be watching the morning. I get it. How many of you Europeans are going to stay up and watch stuff later? What time's the view? It's 8 a.m. And I'm wrecked. I hope the schedule's kind tomorrow. Staying up from Mbaka? Okay. No Zverev match. Look, I just got a feeling we're going to watch Zverev and there's going to be like no one here because nobody... I mean, I don't know. I feel like we've got a good match here and... I don't know. I mean, we got a good long match this one as well, so we got our money's worth for this one. I feel like if we watch Zverev, it's just going to be a bit of a drag. But also, I don't know how many people... I don't think anyone's going to... I mean, no one's crying about watching it, so... Or not watching it. Like, I don't think anyone in the chat's like really that bummed out if we don't watch it. So if you guys don't want to watch it, then I might just watch it on my own and do other things. And call it a day. Especially because I know tomorrow is going to be busy. That's why I want the schedule to come out so I can figure out what we're doing tomorrow so then I can figure out whether we know what we do stuff. I don't really want to watch a 3-hour straight sets match, to be honest. Yeah. No schedule, yeah. Yeah. Nothing on the men's side worth watching tomorrow. God, I knew this was going to be tough, chap, but I didn't think it would be this tough. Yeah, these 2-week Masters mixed with a bunch of players not playing is recipe for disaster. You take out the best, 4 of the best players in the 4 of the top players in the world, and you make it 2 weeks. It's like, what are we doing? It's brutal. Shit, and imagine we have upsets. If we have upsets, I don't even know what to do. So yeah, tomorrow we got on the women's side. Obviously, it's way better. We got Raducanu and Anisimova, great match. That'd be night session. Ostapenko Osaka, great match. Bencic Mukova, love that. Swiatek's playing. I mean, tomorrow we got a full day of women's tennis tomorrow. So good. So good. But yeah, the men's matches are just not there yet. We've got to wait a couple more days for them to actually make it interesting. Like the men's matches, Cerundolo Zverev is the first time I'm like, oh, interesting. Maybe Rune Medvedev. I mean, that's much better, right? Rune Medvedev. You know, those are the type of matches that I want to watch. Those are the matches that we want. Feast Fritz. Rublev Menchik, you know, Shelton Caboli, Demonor Tiafo. I mean, those are the matches that I paid to see. Well, yeah, those are the matches that I wake up at 1 a.m. for. Save your energy for something better. Yeah. I don't want to. We don't need to push it this far. It's too early. Too early in the US series to, watch matches we don't need to watch. Or that don't feel like they need. I mean, we got tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. We'll watch more than match tomorrow. Again, no one in the chat's worried, crying that we're not watching Zverev. So that is fine. If none of you want to watch. None of you are bothered, then I'm not bothered. All right. Again, the schedule's not out, so I have no idea what to do tomorrow. But I know we're going to watch stuff. Anyways, any last questions before I leave? Before we get out of here? I'll warm up. My house is freezing. What'll be the match tomorrow? I don't know. Depends whatever the schedule looks like. Depends what the schedule looks like. All right, I'm out of here. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Gauff comes back again from a set down, or from the dead. And despite the double faults, she wins, so that's all that matters. 4-6, 7-5, 6-2. She wins. She's into the fourth round. And we'll watch her in a couple of days' time. I'll see you tomorrow.